All right, good morning, music recording and audio engineering. This is this is lesson 3 of our unit 1. At this point, you've gone into Soundtrap, you've created your accounts, you've recorded and cut your samples down to size, and today we are doing our first day of mixing. So let me share my screen with you and show you how this works. I'm going to share it, and ta-da! So when you go into your portal, it looks kind of like this. Shout out to Nalia because she has already created the file she's going to use. It looks like it's still empty. So when I made this video, Nalia had created the file, but she hadn't finished doing her recording and cutting her samples down to size. But that's okay. It's moving in the right direction. I did this a little early. But you're going to find your assignment that has the right title, the one that you're working on. You're going to find it. Mine is Megan Himmel, Single Source Beats Project. And then you're going to click over here, Studio. Don't click here on the play button because it'll just play the song for you and it won't let you in to do any editing work. So come on here, click Studio, and it will open up into this. And it takes a minute. That's okay. I highly recommend, and this is just a quick note, that you save often. Don't wait until you're done and ready to log out to save. Do a little bit of work, click save. Do a little bit of more work, click save. So today you need to know about a few features. The first is the beat counting and the measure marks that are here. For today, you need to use your samples to mix a beat that is 8 measures long. So from here to the end of number 8. So this is measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, measure 4, measure 5, measure 6, measure 7, and then measure 8 starts here and ends over here. So you got to get it all the way to here. That's where your beat has to end. It can be repetitive. It's just got to be a cool beat, a rhythmic musical motif. You know what a beat is. And you can only use your samples. A quick note about some features you will find helpful. The click to grid is going to make sure that your samples fall on these beats really easily, and it will make it easier for the clicking drag. And when I say fall onto the beats, I don't mean that it will only fall on the beat. You can see if I zoom in a little, there are little tick marks here to represent each beat. So ta, 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 ta. This is, right now, it's automatically set to be in 4/4 time. So 4 beats per measure, the quarter note gets the beat. If you remember from music class, maybe in advanced musicianship with Mr. McClymonds, or in general music in elementary school with me or Mr. McClymonds, ta, 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 so on and so forth. And then if you zoom in, you'll see little extra tick marks in between the tas, and that's your 8th note subdivision, your TTs. So that would be T, 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 T. And if I wanted to zoom in even more, you would see that there are 4 subdivisions in every beat, and you can tell where the beat is because the little tick mark here goes up a little bit farther than it does for the rest. So that would be your 16th notes, your tiri tiri, right? Tiri 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 tiri. And so the click to grid feature just makes it so that when I want to move something, it goes right there and it's easy to have a nice rhythmic sound, and I don't have to worry about being super finicky. It will do that work for me. Now, the other feature that's really fantastic is the metronome. And I'm going to make sure that my volume is up enough that you'll be able to hear it. And right now my metronome is off. When you're recording, you always want it off because otherwise the little clicking sound will show up and you'll be able to hear it in your recordings. It will ruin your recordings. But for now, I'm just going to turn it on so you can hear the tempo. Let me mute everything so that you can hear without distraction. So that's clicking out my steady beat. It's not loud, it's just there to be useful. I can go into the settings, I can give myself a count in, I can adjust the volume of my metronome. And then of course I can turn it off if I want to. But here's the thing that I want you to pay attention to. It's the tempo marking. Tempo is how fast or how slow the music is. It's the musical word to just talk about speed or pacing. So right now it's at 120 beats per minute. That's 2 beats, 2 little click marks every second. If I want my song to go faster, then I want a higher number. So perhaps 180. And you can hear that. Or if I want it to go slower, maybe I would do 80. Hear that? Or even slower, 60, 1 beat per second. I just want to sample it. And if I want to, I can. So I just sort of clicked a beat and it will figure out what I want my tempo to be. And you can hear the strong one is the beginning of the measure. So I don't actually want it that fast though, because I want to be able to do fun things. So I'm going to set mine at 110, I think. Confirm. And then yes, I want to adjust. It's going to make sure that anything that's clicked to the grid just moves so that it fits in the right place. So you always want to click yes for that. Takes a second to think. And I'm going to turn my metronome off because I don't really need it, but you can leave it on if you want. I'm going to click save. Always save your work, save it often. And now unmuting things. I'm not sure what sound I want to start with. I want to start with a low sound. I want to start with like a bass type sound. I think my flick was kind of low. Let's take a listen. Maybe that. The lever release and the flick are actually very similar in sound quality. So we're taps 1 and 2. But you know, that's why I recorded more than 4, because I want to have diverse sounds to work with. Cartridge removal, I don't think is going to be a good one. No, that's more for embellishments, but that's not going to help me make a steady beat. And I think the scrape, I'm going to go with the flick. And I can just come in here. I'm going to zoom in. And I'm just, for now, going to make a steady beat. So I'm going to click on it. I can right click and then copy. But I can also Control-C to copy. And then I click where I want the sound to start. And I'm using my snap to grid feature, right? And here I have it going on beats 1 and 3, which I don't think I'm gonna like, but maybe I will. Oh no, I have that on the subdivision. I didn't zoom out enough, right? So you can also click and drag to get it to where you want it. Because what I think I really want to do is have them on the steady beat on 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, If I want to copy and paste more than one thing at a time, I can click and highlight, and you notice that the color changed. It got from like a light blue to a dark blue, and then Control C to copy, Control V to paste, right? So I'm just gonna give myself 8 full measures of this flick on a steady beat. And now I'm going to add another sound in. I think maybe the cartridge removal or the scrape. So that's cartridge removal, or let's hear scrape. I think cartridge removal. I'm gonna go back and I'm actually gonna click and drag this to, I will need to zoom in to get that click feature to drop it where I want, because I want boom, yum, boom as my sound. So if I go back to the beginning, yeah, I like that. And maybe Control C, Control V. I want yup, up, up. So I can overlap them if I want, right? Yep. Oop. Undo. And the thing that is annoying to me is that when you overlap things and they delete, right? And I think I want this to be a nice, like a different for measure 1 and measure 2. So I want bump. And so I want another one right here. Zooming out, sorry, back to the beginning. Yeah, I like that. So now that I've found something that I like, right, I highlight, Control C, and then 2, 3, Control V, and I think I gotta, I'm gonna have to zoom in to click and drag this over a subdivision, right? But you can highlight things and then drag them all as a unit. So let's zoom out and hear how I like it. Nice. So I'm gonna take that whole thing, I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna put it here, and then of course I'm gonna have to zoom in a little bit. Oop, wrong way. To get it to where it needs to be. Highlight to click and drag a whole chunk. And oh, I need to zoom in more to get that subdivision. And there. Zoom out so I can just track the whole thing. Back to the beginning. Let's take a listen. So I like that so far. And that's 8 measures. So you're going to do that. You're going to add a couple other sounds. You should use at least 3 of your 4 sounds for this beat. So I'm not done, but I think you get the idea of how to do it. And that's your assignment, the A section, the first 8 measures of your beat. That's what you got to do. Let me know when you're done so that I know to come in and look in your studio. And of course, save your work. All right, and that's what we got for today. Bye, guys.